Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Welcome to the AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me as always, I have my tag team partner, the glamorous Anjulie. What's going on, Delisha?
What's up, guys? Nothing much. Just here to recap some Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one of those combined pay-per-views. Like, we're so used to seeing combined pay-per-views for the big four, right, usually, but now we're having all of them combined, so that entitles us to, I guess, 7-hour pay-per-views, or people not being included in the show, as we see, like, a lot of superstars have been left out of the show. And, like, what I was saying when we had this issue before, or when I said the presumed issue we would have is seeing mostly titles, only titles being undefended, right? And that seemed what this was, what this pay-per-view was. Basically, all titles being defended, except for maybe the Miz Maurice match and probably maybe another one. Maybe Jeff Hardy, I think, wasn't I don't know if anyone was a champion in that. I don't think they were. But other than that, like, mostly it was all titles being defended, except for maybe Shinsuke's and a bunch. But yeah, it's that balance. Like, we're seeing mostly championship heavyweight fights, weighted fights. I mean, championship weighted fights as opposed to storyline weighted fights. But I guess, I don't know. What do you think of the new format? Do you enjoy seeing, like, more? Would you rather have a longer pay-per-view where everyone gets on the card? A shorter pay-per-view, like the pay-per-view kind of what we had yesterday was just mostly championship matches? Or would you want to have the brand split? Save the combined for the big shows.
I don't really think it's the it's for me. It's not the co-brandedness, however you want to call it. That's the issue. I feel like a lot of times, as I'm noticing on the Raw side, it even though they have like a 3 hour show, it still feels so bloated to where that we're not getting good story development. This is just from what I'm liking or noticing, and we're on the SmackDown side, we're getting much more story development. So when it does come time for pay-per-view matches, I'm more excited for them because there's a story behind it that, well, I should say a consistent through line story behind it versus than what we get on the Raw side. And maybe that's where the mismatch is coming from, is that we don't have any. It's not a complete cohesive storyline going on through all the matches that we're getting on the card.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I also Tom in this chat says shorter pay-per-views as well. So let me just before we start, let me go say hi to the people that are in chat. We got Thomas Ambino, who's our road raider. I'm sure we have. I don't know if Joe's around, but he's our man in the rafters, our fact checker. He's not around. Okay, so our stable's a little empty today, but eventually maybe we get some callers in later. Sky might call in. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But we got Typical also in here, and we got Green Hula. Welcome everybody. So yeah, so Tom says shorter pay-per-views. I prefer the brand split. I've been saying that forever. I like the brand split. I like having. I know it's harder for us because we'd have a pay-per-view every other week and we'd have to cover that. But maybe just make it every month like they used to do. Brand split with a pay-per-view every month. And SmackDown would have 1 month and they'd go. So it'd be a longer build-up. I know that would be kind of hard for them, but I prefer having the brand split. That way everyone gets their show. And if you have a brand split with every month of pay-per-view, every other month, I should say, per brand, besides the joint one, you get that build-up. And more storylines can build up. You know what I mean? I feel like that. And how you were saying the whole issue with, we don't. God forbid we have 2 women storylines going on. At least if you have a brand split and one pay-per-view every other month, you could split it out. I think that's how I feel, but we'll see. I mean, but yeah. So yeah, I think Tom actually likes what I have to say. I think he likes that 3 hour max pay-per-views, 4 for the big hour. Yep, exactly. 4 to 5 hours for the big few. WrestleMania maybe 5. I'd say that, but yeah. So. I guess we should go into the pay-per-view. We're talking about Hell in a Cell 2018, combined pay-per-view. And I remember last time we were saying mostly SmackDown matches, they were trying to get it over with, and then they had Raw matches. I kind of felt the same way almost this time around, too, because I was waiting for Renee Young to come out and talk, because will she cover the pay-per-view or not? And thankfully she did. I think she did a great job also of covering the pay-per-view, but I was like, they always seem to get the SmackDown matches out of the way. But with that said, our first match of the evening, let me get our little video up of it, or a background of it, was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles featuring the New Day against Rusev Day. So this is the Day match, I guess they call it, for the title. And it featured your Tag Team champions, the New Day, which were represented by, I think, Kofi and Big E, was it? Yeah, I think there's Kofi and Big E, right? And against New Day. And then I was saying how it's kind of a joking atmosphere, how when it first started out, New Day started to sing, and then Aiden English came out and he started singing and all that, and I like Aiden English. I like Rusev Day. I'm getting sick of New Day, like I've been saying. I still love Kofi. He's my favorite of New Day because his pure athleticism and charisma. I love everything about Kofi, but I'm getting sick of New Day now. I think Kofi needs to break off. But they're selling shirts. They're great for the kids and all that stuff. So But if you want to talk about this match, I know you're a New Day fan and you're Rusev Day fan as well. So.
I wish I could, but as per usual, when it comes to the pre-show, I'm usually making dinner around that time, so I didn't quite see everything with the match. I get what you're saying with New Day, but I feel like everything that they're throwing, whether it's a stupid storyline or even that they know they're just placeholders for someone else to put over, they always seem to take that in stride. I feel like they're still entertaining. I don't know how much creative control they have over the New Day persona, or if they just get the bullet points and then they just run with it. I'm not sure. For instance, when we have New Day on commentary, they're at their pancake table. I don't know what, but seeing Big E just sit there trying to make pancakes, it's hilarious to me. And they also added a new twist with Kofi as the backstage interviewer. I forget what they call.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I find that entertaining.
I enjoyed that.
They're still trying to do new things as a team, and I don't see them breaking up anytime soon. They just gel too well together, and like you said, they're selling a ton of merch. While on the other hand, you could break up Aiden from Rusev, and Rusev would still be over, and then Aiden would fall through the wayside again. It's another one of those things where I don't know what they're doing with it. It's like they want to keep dangling this Rusev carrot in front of the audience, but there's no payoff for it. And pretty soon that's gonna backfire. And I feel like that's what Vince wants, but it's not happening soon enough for his liking. I don't know. But the New Day did retain. I don't know why I cannot remember the ending of this match, which I guess maybe that's telling.
I think something happened to. Yeah, I think something happened to Aiden, and while Rusev was trying to get in, they stopped him from getting in.
Oh, I remember. I think Aiden had him in what's Rusev's submission called? The Accolade?
Oh, the Accolade, yeah.
Okay. I think he had him in that, and for some odd reason, Rusev was telling him to tag him in. I'm like, he has him in a submission. It looks like he might tap. Why would you ask him to tag you in itch? That just made no sense. And then I think it was Kofi who got out of it, and then did he hit the Trouble in Paradise? I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. I'm being a bad person. But
the most I don't watch the pre-shows, so
the most important part is New Day won.
Yeah, so New Day ended up winning the match. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with Rusev Day. I do enjoy their tag team. I think Rusev does deserve a push, but I also think Aiden English deserves a push. I liked him in the Vaudevillains when he was with Simon Gotch. I love their gimmick. I love their angle. I just wish they can go back to that. And we can't have that, but I thought it was great. We also got to say hi to Aaron in the chat. Welcome. And Tom Zamino agrees. New Day has gotten kind of stale, but yep, they sell merch. So that's pretty much it for the first match. The New Day retained, and they're still your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Place holding, I guess, until one of those Bash Brothers, whatever they're called, or the Bludgeon Brothers, are healthy again, so they can retain it or take it back or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So the pay-per-view started out with a Hell in a Cell match. So here's my gripe before we start out with the next match, which you can probably go over because it's your two favorite wrestlers. Well, one of your favorites and then one of your, least liked. And I know I fell asleep in this match, so you probably had to go through it. But yeah, Tom agrees he liked the Vaudevillains. So I like their gimmick. That was such an old school like shtick that they had. It was great, black and white. They come out, they had the mustaches and all that. Yeah, we're going to get to that, No Way Zachary. Thank you, No Way Zachary, for joining. He's talking about the last match. We'll get to that. We're going in order through the matches. But yeah, what I think is if the pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell or Hell in a Cell, every match should be contested in Hell in a Cell. I think that's what they used to have. It used to be every match was contested in Hell in a Cell. And I think that's what they should still do. There's no reason why they should not. The women have been having Hell in a Cell matches. Right? I think it was Sasha and Charlotte, I think, that had it. The first ever Hell in a Cell women's match. So why not keep having Hell in a Cell all throughout? That's how I think. That's what gives it the luster. Like, you're not going to see Hell in a Cell matches probably off the pay-per-view other than, maybe like in a dark match or something like a foreign match in Saudi Arabia or Australia or something. You won't see a Hell in a Cell match regardless besides the pay-per-view. So why not have use it for what it's worth? Instead of having to move it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I guess, that doesn't matter. No skin off their backs, but I feel like to do a fan service, they should have every match in Hell in a Cell. But go ahead. The first match started out for the Hell in a Cell. It was Jeff Hardy against Randy Orton.
Yeah, I mean, I think they put on a pretty good match for what it's worth for seeing these two fight for like the 1,000th time. It was really brutal. Our first spot of many blood matches, so to speak. Because I think it started to take a turn when Jeff went through an upside down ladder that he set up on the outside, and then somehow his belt broke in half. I don't know if that was set up or that just happened to happen. So it's just Randy just going brutal on him and just basically whipping him with the belt. I don't know why he needed to tear off his shirt to do that on account of his shirt was like netted, so it didn't affect the impact whatsoever. But anyway, that was just a side commentary between me and my friend. And then, of course, the spot that everyone's gifting right now is Randy he took out a toolbox from underneath the ring and proceeded to use the screwdriver through what do they call septums in his ear.
No,
I don't know.
gauge. The gauge.
Gauge. Okay.
Gauge in his ear.
I don't know what Randy Orton's obsession with Jeff's ear is, but it's pretty disturbing. I am not going to lie. This is probably the most I've probably enjoyed Randy in a match in a very long time. Um, it's just him being a just skeeved out, disgusting heel tactics, which was great. And then later on, we see Jeff get the other upper hand. He got control of his belt back, whipping Randy on the back. If you actually, I don't know how many people call it, but when he started bleeding, it was in the pattern of that belt, which is actually pretty brutal to emphasize how brutal Hell in a Cell could be. And then Jeff had previously tried doing the Swanton, I think on 3 occasions, and just couldn't get it done because Randy just kept either pushing him out the way or rolling out the way until he finally hit a Twist of Fate. And then Randy perfectly landed on a table that was set up next to a ladder. So, of course, this was the high spot that, not the high spot everyone thought was going to happen. We thought we would get Jeff off the top of a cell on Swanton, but I guess that might have been too dangerous. I don't know. But he tried to swing himself off the top of the cage and to land on Randy and the table. But, of course, Randy moved out the way, just falls through a table. The ref, for some reason, was calling for the EMTs. And Randy said, no, do your job and count him. And so Randy won, and Jeff was stretchered out on a kayfabe injury / real injury going on.
Yeah, another thing is, well, before we go to what my thoughts on it, No Way Zachary says this is the best match ever. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Tom Zamino says they should change Randy's music. And then he might be down with the new Root Battle of his character, but you could add Jeff Hardy to Undertaker as 2 people he enjoyed watching as a kid, but now they're getting hard to watch as they get older. What's up, Dub? Welcome. Hell in a Cell. You watched it, but it's really bad in your opinion. We'll get to our overall grades later, Dub. But for me, I fell asleep, but the one part that I woke up for was the ending where he did that flip. He fell off the table, whatever, and landed. He jumped off the cage, whatever it is. Hanging from the suspended from the cage, let go, and fell through the table. Jeff Hardy's taking worse bumps than that, so why did that knock him out? First of all. Second of all, why are they saying at the last second Randy Orton moves? Randy Orton moved out of the way. Jeff Hardy kept swinging, then fell and landed on the table. It was such bad timing. I was so upset with that. They could have had him drop and then move. They're fast enough to do all that kind of stuff. If Randy Orton could pop up and catch someone in an RKO from a whatever that shooting star splash or whatever, you could move out of the way before he hits the ground. Or count the number of times you're going to do it. Or I don't know, maybe they lost count or something. But he's taking worse bumps than that. Randy Orton moved out of the way. I told you, he read the encyclopedia. He left wrestling 4 times, came back 7 times. Still was, then Jeff Hardy jumped and got hurt. It was so stupid in my opinion, but whatever. I heard it was a good match. What I saw with the gift later on with the Jeff Hardy ear thing was disgusting to me, but whatever. I guess it was cool with the fans and all that. But hey, Randy Orton is gonna be a fan favorite, I guess, no matter what, or fan favorite as a heel, regardless. His character is loved. But he puts on good matches, So same thing with Jeff Hardy. As much as I don't like Jeff Hardy, I feel it's the opposite way. I love Randy Orton, not so much anymore, but I love Randy Orton, or I used to, and you love Jeff Hardy. It's the same thing. You can't say the others. Oh my. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for that match. So Randy Orton goes ahead and wins that match. We'll go on to our next match, which I think happens to be, the first title defense of the night. Oh, actually, I get the SmackDown. Sorry. So the second title defense of the night, the first on the pay-per-view, which was with the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte against Becky Lynch. Interesting side note is that a lot of pro Becky signs are taken away from the fans because Charlotte's supposed to look like that great heel that everyone loves. But yeah, I was cheering for Becky. I love Becky. I've always loved Becky. I think she's my number 3 WWE wife, or she's teetering there. I think she's my number 2 or 3 teetering WWE wife, and I just love her character. I love the story build up. I actually watched the montage. So they did a good job of the montage where her being that sexy librarian in the first row. That when Charlotte was taking a selfie with the fans, she jumped out and had a black wig on and hit Charlotte. That was good. And the whole heel turn, she plays the heel very well. It was a great, very well wrestled match. It had the sloppy moments that it usually has in a Charlotte match, because Charlotte, I know, is either too good for her opponents or too fast. I don't know what it is, because Charlotte's supposed to be the ultimate wrestler or whatever she is. I don't think so. I think Becky's better, but there were some sloppy moments in my opinion. But it was a great match overall. There's moments where Becky worked the entire match for the most part, and then went to disarm her, and then it ended up with was it a roll up? Right, it was a roll up, and a pin, and Becky was your new SmackDown Women's Champion. And then Charlotte, of course, did the nice faves thing where she went for the handshake after, or to raise her hand, and Becky's like, you're taking my moment from me. I like that, and she walked away. And now I'm glad to see Becky is the new women's champion, because she didn't get the moment though where like the fans did cheer, you deserve it, but she didn't get that thing where I guess I don't know who the new SmackDown announced backstage reporter is. It could be Kayla Braxton or Charlie Caruso, I don't know who it is, but they talk to them and say, how do you feel to win your first championship? She didn't get that moment where everyone says you deserve it. I guess because she might have broken down in tears and kind of portrayed a face, which she's not supposed to. I don't know, but I'm happy for her. I thought it was a good match overall.
Yeah, I felt the same. Even I feel like though Becky is they're letting her be that more anti-hero. She's being described a lot as getting that Stone Cold push, where she's not a face but not really a heel, playing that tweener. Because they kind of gone away from her bashing the fans and her promos, because it was just untrue. So I don't know. We'll have to see what she might say on Tuesday, but I am super glad that she got the win. As much she does deserve it, as the fans were chanting. She's worked so hard, and she's always seemed, even though people were treating her like the forgotten fourth horsewoman, so to speak. I'm glad she's really getting her shine, and she's really getting to play off her skill set of being on the mic and also in the ring. So hopefully they give her a lengthy title run, not just dropping it back at Evolution or something like that.
I agree. And some things in the chat we have saying Becky doesn't need to wear the one piece. I have to say about the costumes, though. As much as I hate Charlotte, I think her costume this time around, her outfit, her ring attire was beautiful. It was
they were matching
colors, but I think Becky's is more drab. It wasn't as poppy, as flair. It didn't have the flair that Charlotte Flair had. To use that pun. I just felt like the colors were more vibrant on Charlotte's outfit, and she had the bedazzled jewels, the Swarovski crystals, or whatever. I don't like Charlotte, but I think this was her best ever ring attire that she's ever wore, hands down, in my opinion. And I think I apologize if I said this was Becky's first title win. She has won. She's the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Tom Zambino, in lieu of Joe not being here, is fact checking me. I don't know if I meant to say that, but Aaron brings up a good point. Is that Charlotte is basically the female Roman Reigns. She's a face, but people still boo her. And the fans forced the fact that Becky's a tweener by not booing her. What's real awesome, though, is because Charlotte is terrible, Becky actually has personality. Personality doesn't just trickle down from her dad's popularity. Exactly. And we'll leave out what Dub said. But Dub, yeah, whatever happened to Asuka, I don't know what happened to Asuka. She'll probably come back. But overall, I thought this was a good match, and I'm happy that Becky won. This brings us to our next match. If you want to go into our next match,
yeah,
it is our Raw Men's Tag Team Championship, featuring the tag team champions Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler against 2/3 of the Shield, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Are you gonna go into it, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, sorry, I blanked out. Well, I kind of blanked out during this match, mainly because I technically didn't really care. I don't know what it is, but I'm not caring about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, and they put on a good match, which I would expect with all four of these guys. I don't know what it is, but my mind just won't bring up any moments from this match besides Drew and Dolph Ziggler winning. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so there's some good spots with a lot of good reversals into the Falcon Arrow, as well as the Frog Splash. A lot of good suicide dives to the outside. Dean Ambrose doing his normal brawler mentality after Drew McIntyre showing his power off. It was just great. It's you have the dynamic of Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, who put up great matches in the past already on pay-per-views. Add that to the two big guy, quote unquote big guys. Dean Ambrose being the bigger guy of the two, I guess, the Shield, arguably, I guess you can say. And Drew McIntyre being, obviously a lot bigger than Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, no, it was great. It was a great match overall. A lot of great spots back and forth. And then I think the win happened with Seth Rollins tried to go for another Falcon Arrow, but Drew McIntyre came in and like this point, Ziggler was pretty much out from the original slam, but then he went for the Falcon Arrow. Drew McIntyre came and did the whatever his kick is called. I don't know what it's called, but it's called some crazy kick. Super kick. Well, no, running boot or whatever you want to call it. It has a name. I just forgot the name. He hit that kick, and both of them collapsed, and Dolph Ziggler happened to fall onto to Seth Rollins, and there's 1, 2, 3 that it retained. So, and then like it's cool because Drew McIntyre picked up Seth Rollins, took both belts. Picked up Dolph Ziggler and took both belts and just carried him off, like because Dolph Ziggler was completely knocked out. The Claymore, thank you. And Dub says this was probably the best match of the pay-per-view. Yeah, it was a great match. I thought it was great. I'm never disappointed by Seth Rollins matches nor Dolph Ziggler matches. And adding Drew McIntyre, who's supposed to be the future of the WWE when he first came in his first run. I'm not a Dean Ambrose fan, but he always puts on a good show as well. So it was a great match. A lot of chat about Burn It Down and Rising from the Ashes and the Claymore. Everyone's just waiting for Dean to turn on Seth. I agree. It's going to happen again, or the first time, or again.
Or for
they always
Drew
turn on each other.
Yeah, I'm about to say, or for Drew or Dolph turn on one another.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is a good match. I thought overall this was one of the better matches of the evening, probably if not the best match of the evening. And that's expected. You have 4 solid athletes, 3 who I'm a fan of, and 1 I'm like, But I don't mind it. That brings us to our next match, which should have probably been contested in Hell in a Cell, but it was not. It was AJ Styles, your WWE champion, against Samoa Joe, the challenger, in a rematch for the 784th time. And 84 of those times have been on WWE. 700 other times have been on the company that we do not name. But yeah, so it was I enjoyed this match too. That was a good match. I mean, it's a straight up regular match, and Samoa Joe showed more of his athleticism in this match than he did in his last standing match. Whatever that match was, the last match, just a normal match too, right?
I think
it was a normal match as well, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was a normal match. But it ended in a DQ. So, like this, Samoa Joe I think was a lot more quicker. He looks he's getting bigger every time, but he was a lot more quicker this time around. AJ, pulled off some great super power moves as well with his slams and stuff. We got to the phenomenal forearm. We got to see the Kakita clutch. We didn't get to see a Styles Clash. I think he attempted it once or twice, but he couldn't get Samoa Joe into it. But these guys are great athletes, more so AJ, obviously. But Samoa Joe's been doing better. I have to give him that. He's doing better with his athleticism. And what it came down to is AJ went for a phenomenal forearm. I think Samoa Joe sidestepped it, put him in the Kakita clutch, and then it was shades of the Rowdy Piper, I think, Bret Hart match where Rowdy Piper had Bret Hart in a sleeper hold, and then they reversed it into a pin, flipping back onto a pin where Bret pins Rowdy. Here, AJ pins Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, when the bell goes off, Samoa Joe thinks he wins. Thought he won the match, but he had the adrenaline rush. Like he sold it well. He sold it like he won, even despite AJ's music going off. He still sold like he won because the adrenaline. Then when he heard "and still," right when the "and still" was said, you see his expression change, because what happened was AJ tapped on the 2 count. But it was not, the ref's eyes were on the shoulders, not on the tap, which is stupid because Tom and I were talking about this. Why not wait an extra second? If you feel it, the 1, 2, and if you don't get the 3 count, then tap. 1 extra second is not going to kill you. Maybe it will because your air supply is being taken off, but you'll probably go to sleep. But if the worst comes to worst, you go to sleep, you fall asleep on top of him. That's a 3 count anyway, right? I don't know. But yeah, so controversial ending. Then they show the camera angle, the camera angle that they never had ever before, but they conveniently have it for this match of AJ tapping at the 2 count. So then Samoa Joe complains to Paige, complains to the referee. Now the game, another rematch. So match number 786 or whatever, 77, whatever I said. One more, add one more to that. It's gonna be the Australian Super Show. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The chat says Tom says he's consistently disappointed by Dolph, but whatever. Joe says this. Dub says Joe should have won. It was a bad ending. The feud is going nowhere. AJ was supposed to be unhinged, but he's not. I agree with that. What do you think?
I totally disagree about this feud going nowhere. Like, Joe was cutting some of like the most. Talk about this another way of another disturbing heel. Like, did none of you guys see that promo he cut on last Tuesday with the storytelling? That was just pure gold. This has been one of my favorite feuds so far in the last couple of months. Mainly probably because these two know each other so well. They're the best of the friends. So, and a lot of times, as we said, I think last week review, when you have two friends who know each other in and out in the ring and outside the ring, and they're able to just come together and come up with this great storyline. It's it shows. They're doing remarkable work. As I was talking to Joe, another friend Matt, I was like, AJ. I mean, it's probably a bad word, but his title reign to me is kind of unremarkable. I mean, he's had great matches, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the feuds he has been in are not as memorable as some of the others. I mean, I know him and Shinsuke had a feud, but to me, there was nothing about those that's memorable except for them not being that great in execution. But with this one, I'm like, this is great. Like, Joe is cutting great promos, and you almost have like AJ like chasing, even though he's the champ, because this guy's coming after his family. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I really do think that this one when's. I mean, I hate that we have to ask this question. Like, when does the game come out again? And when is the Australian Super Show? Because I don't know.
Australian Super Show is October 6th.
So yeah,
I don't know when the game's coming out, but
I don't know. But I feel like Joe needs to win this match and get the title, just because it's so logical. But then again, WWE and logic don't always go together. But anyway, I really enjoyed this match, and you were right. Joe is a little bit more athletic in this match. That running springboard forearm outside the ring into AJ when he backed up into the announce table, that looked like it actually hurt just the way his back landed. But I don't know. It's been great. I'm still enjoying this feud a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. The story time thing I did see on the promo, because obviously I fast forward through all the people, the SmackDown and stuff, but I did see that in the promo package. That was great. Tom is saying, can we take a moment to say I appreciate how awesome pages. Tom agrees that AJ is always taking a backseat to whatever Roman's feud is, which is true.
Yeah.
AJ Arrington has a bad feeling that Bobby Roode might get the main title before Joe does, because this will be glorious for business. And Dub says he'd rather have seen Shinsuke defend his title than most every match in the card. So I don't know. I mean, I think maybe Samoa Joe will end up winning in Australia because it's like the Samoans, New Zealand and all that, Samoa and all that kind of stuff. And that area, I don't know, Australia, New Zealand, Samoa, all that thing. I think Samoa Joe will end up winning in Super Show. And I don't know when the game comes out. Someone can probably in the chat let us know. But yeah, we'll see. All right. So if you want to cover the next match, because I only have negative things to say about half the team in here, it's your grudge match again, featuring Daniel Bella and Brie Bella against The Miz and Maurice, the It couple of the WWE.
Okay, I'm just gonna preface and say no, this was not the greatest match ever. It didn't really set the world on fire, but this is another feud I've been enjoying. I know people were saying like why we have to bring their wives into it, but I'm like, well, they gotta keep this feud fresh somehow. It can't just be I'm better than you and so forth. These they both have reality television shows on TV. They both have their wives are very involved, not only in WWE but in outside ventures. So it kind of it's a natural gravitation to get these two involved, especially with Evolution coming up next month as well. You want to get them on TV, get them in some matches and stuff like that. Anyway, I I'm just a big fan of Maurice. I don't know. I can't put my name on it. I don't know why. I just love her. And I'm a fan of BeABra as a person, probably thanks to Total Divas, which I watch on and off. And anyway, I know it's scripted, guys. Don't yell at me in the comments. But I was really enjoying the interplay more. I guess I should say I enjoy more the interplay and promo between all four of them than the match itself. It was very disappointing. Um, we it was mainly Miz versus Brian with a little bit of Brie and Maurice thrown in. I don't know if I was talking to Tom or someone else. I don't know if Maurice just wasn't ready or if it was storyline protecting her of her being the chicken shit heel, just didn't want to be tagged in. I didn't. She is only 5 months removed from having a baby, so that could have some play in it. I don't know. But we got a lot of the Daniel Bryan and Miz interplay we've been getting for the what did that 2 or 3 matches already this year so far or 2 with a lot of the S kicks, the Daniel Bryan,
The it kicks.
the what kicks?
The it kicks.
Oh, well, it's yes kicks when Bryan does it, and then the it
No. They're always been the it kicks. Completely
Really?
idea by Miz.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Come on, Alicia. Portraying my heel role here.
I'm sorry.
Completely ruined it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You can suspend me for a match or so. I don't know. but like, I don't know. There really wasn't anything memorable about the match, and they surprisingly, Miz and Maurice won with Maurice getting the roll up and grabbing the tights on Brie. I really thought this was going to Miz and Brie to get the comeuppance match later on in the year. I don't know, but I seriously will watch these two go at it up until WrestleMania. I don't mind seeing that. They seem to be having so much fun with it. Why not just let them go with it until someone gets a belt? I don't know.
Because now the Miz and Maurice have twice beaten Daniel Bryan and his whatever that person is, twice cleanly, completely clean, nothing wrong. Nothing cheap there. Maybe Maurice's was fixing a wardrobe malfunction that Brie was about to have. I didn't see holding tights. I think she was fixing a wardrobe malfunction that Brie was about to have.
You know what? You're pretty right, because the way her setup was set up, I can see that happening. She was helping sister out. I understand.
Exactly. Tom says, don't let Maurice and Brie get into a match with Revolution. Hey, girl, welcome to Firefox. Maurice can't wrestle according to Tom. Brie's just so grating. Every time she says Brie mode, I want to punch something. Arrington says that the theme song is so bad. Will says that Brie's the better Bella. And I like how Cal's going full Corey Graves here. This absurd heel commentary. I don't know about his heel commentary. It's completely factual. Okay? First of all, the worst part of the match is that Daniel Bryan did not die yet. Why is he still alive? Why is he still wrestling? Get out of wrestling. I hate you, Daniel Bryan. The fans, the WWE Universe is terrible for cheering him and patronizing him with a yes chance. I'm sick and tired of you. Just get out of here. Get out of wrestling. I never want to see you come back. I don't know why you came back. Just leave. The Miz, you're great. You're awesome. We love you. Keep doing well. And that's all I have to say about that. This match was great because the Miz and Maurice cleanly won. Cleanly won. Nothing wrong with it. Now, if they're going to complain again, Daniel and whatever the other person, BeABra is actually the more important of the two. BeABra and Daniel Bella are going to complain because of what happened. But long live. Why do I hate Daniel Bryan? Because he's overrated. He's overrated. Why? He's so worthless, Daniel Bryan. No talent. Nothing good on the mic. Just stop. Why do people like him? Explain why people like him. No. I'm going to ban you. Ban you from the chat, Will. No yes chance in the chat. All right. Let's go to the next match, which features the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey against the Goddess, my number one WWE wife, Alexa Bliss. This was a better match than SmackDown because SummerSlam, because SummerSlam, the match lasted, like a minute? It had just all jokes and goofs. Here, it led up. I did see the package where Alexa started working the ribs of Ronda, the previous Raw, or whatever it was. But yeah, Alexa put up a good fight. Worked the ribs a lot. The best spot for me was the the knees to the ribs into a back handspring back into the knees again. You know that thing that she does. That was cool. The funny part was when the Randall first one for her patented, what do you call it? Twist slam, whatever you want to call it, gut wrench slam. I don't know what it's called. I forgot who it was when they said Ronda's ribs gave out. That's when Tom texted me, ribs can't give out. But yeah, the ribs gave out. There he's saying in the chat, she didn't just work the ribs gave out. So like someone tried to cover whoever said it by saying, oh, she couldn't engage her core, which makes more sense because talking about the muscles as opposed to the actual ribs. But yeah, I thought it was a good match. I mean, like it wasn't as like the only way Alexa could have won is by working the injury, which she worked. But then the worst part of the match is that Ronda Rousey hulked up. She was supposed to be Roddy Piper or she was supposed to be the Hulk because she started hulking up and then, you know, she did her slam and the armbar, which she tapped in like a split second, not even 1 second. As soon as she was put into it, she tapped, which I think is so stupid because to this day, Stephanie McMahon, who's not even a wrestler, has been put in the armbar for longer than the women in the UFC, except for Miesha Tate. She's been put longer in the armbar than most women in the UFC, if not all women in the UFC that have been put in the armbar, with the exception of Miesha Tate, and all WWE female superstars, which I think is ridiculous because the armbar is pretty much similar to the disarm her. Pretty much similar to the disarmer. If not, the disarmer torques the arm more because Becky's actually sitting on you. And Alexa's taken that. She dislocated her arm or fake dislocated her arm and came back from it and still won the match. So why tap out in a split second? That upsets me. A great match by Alexa overall. I love that double knee into a back handspring into a double knee again. That was the best part of the night or the match. I mean, Alexa should have been the champion, but Ronda Rousey, of course, is your face that everyone loves, sells merchandise, blah, blah, blah. Alexa Bliss forever.
I have to correct you, Cal. The best moment of this match was Alicia Fox's outfit. That was the best of the match. But yeah, I don't know why, but I'm just still not on the Ronda Rousey train. I appreciate how much she's learned in a short amount of time, but I still think she has a lot more work to do. I don't know. I can't get with it. But I am glad that they let Alexa Bliss go as long as she did, way longer than the last time when she was thrown around like a little rag doll. When she's lasted longer with Nia Jax, which is, where is Nia, by the way? Anyway, that's a side note. We'll see her at Evolution. That's my answer for all the women. We'll see them at Evolution. But yeah, it does make me curious as to what storyline they're gonna put Ronda in, to who she's gonna drop the belt to. I am curious about that. But going back to this match, I always expect Alexa to do a great job. Like, again, I feel like she is one of the best like facial expressionists. She's great with her facial expressions, better than anyone I've seen in a very long time. And I feel like we all need to bow and worship at her altar. But anyway, this match was fine. It didn't really set any fireworks off for me. And we all knew Ronda was going to win because she wasn't going into Evolution without the belt, which it's weird that what her matches for Evolution is odd. It makes no sense. But whatever.
Yeah, isn't it her and the Bellas versus the Riot Squad?
The Riot Squad. For what reason?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not? Why isn't our champion fighting on this? Whatever. Let's not get into that.
Wait, is it Evolution or Super Show? Is that for the Super Show or for Evolution?
Is that? That's for the Super Show? I thought that was for Evolution.
I think.
Okay, fine.
I think it's for Super Show. That's why I said I don't really want to cover the Super Show, which we'll get to at the end of the night. But yeah. And another thing is, I have to agree with Tom. Ronda is actually doing pretty well. She's doing a lot better with her acting, her on mic, her wrestling. I think she's doing better than what I would have thought she would be doing. So I have to give her credit for that.
I do give her the credit. Like I said, she's done a lot in a short amount of time. So I definitely give her props for that. It's just, I don't know. I'm just not totally on the Ronda hype train as everyone else seems to be right now. I mean, I like her. I don't like hate her. I'm like, well, I don't think I'll ever get to the Daniel Bryan hate you get to, but but she's not even in my top 5 on the roster right now. Sorry, guys.
Well, yeah, Tom says she's more interesting than half the women's locker room. Cough, Natty, cough. What's the point of Natty being out there? I don't know. But I have to applaud that, Natalia.
She's collecting that check, okay? Her
but the thing is,
2 Pauls
yeah,
needs
even
more
more than
porque.
that.
He's not cheap.
Yeah. Even more important than that, like the fact that she comes up, I have to applaud her because the fact that she shows up, her father just died, and she's very close to her family and her father especially. She shows up, man. Shows up for pay-per-view, shows up for shows, and that, in light of the recent events. So, good
And
for
also,
that.
I
And I thought she was.
I also give her credit to just doing whatever WWE tells her to do, no matter the look of it on her part. I don't know. She's a trooper for sure. She's been in this business for over 10 years. So I mean, she is a pillar of the women's division. I know she trains a lot of the other women as they come up on the roster. So I don't know. I can see her falling into more of that trainer role down the line, like off camera. But she's in a spot as a lot of some of these mid card men. So what makes it's no different than any of them. So let her get that money. She's making more money than all of us combined anyway. But
yeah, that is true. Yeah, because the Hearts. I remember the Hearts, Tom Zambino. All right, so this brings us to our final match of the evening, which we'd probably usually give to Tom Zambino because he's a huge Braun Strowman fan. And what happened at the end of the night. But, I just did the last match, so we'll have you do this match. Take over the main event.
You need to update that Mick Foley picture. Is that who it is behind you, right?
WWE picture.
Because he's got that, that curl perm now.
I know, but this is the picture that WWE.com had, so I can't do anything about it.
I was just kidding with you.
No, I know. I'm saying I can't do anything about it, though. So go ahead. Tell me about this match.
I thought Tom was coming in. Oh. Well, I don't...
No, Tom's not coming in tonight. And welcome, Sky. Okay. Thank you for coming.
Well, first of all, I mean, I know they were trying to commemorate the 20-year anniversary of Hell in a Cell and the Nick Foley special coming on immediately after Hell in a Cell, but he didn't really need to be at this match, to be honest. It felt like a throwaway last minute thing, because didn't they just announce that like last week or something? I don't know.
Wait, before and the fact that he messed up. He counted 3. He said 1, 2, 3, and everyone's like, "What?" And Braun Strowman was like, "What?" And everyone's like, "What?" And then Austin came out and said, "What?" And then he left. But yeah, he counted 3. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I wasn't in the living room on the TV when you texted me that. I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I saw people on Twitter was like, "Did he just count 3?" The man has taken so many bumps. His brain isn't all the way there. I don't know, but I feel like I don't know. I guess it's whatever. It's no different than any other special guest referee anyway. They're usually always pointless. Well, in this match, guys, I gotta be honest. I didn't care. I don't like what they're doing with Strowman. We spent a year and a half building this man up as one of the top overest people on the planet to turning him, I guess, heel ? I still don't know, because we refuse to push that button on Roman. I don't know why. I know the man sells t-shirts, but damn it, when the storyline calls for it, just go with it. We have so many opportunities probably over the last 10 years with this guy to turn him heel for a good reason, and they just won't do it, and it makes me upset. And I love Braun, and he does not deserve to be treated this way. But anyway, let's get to the match. So we have Roman being the big guy that he is. Actually, no, I guess both of them being the big guys that they are, trading blows, trading punches. The only spot I can remember before all hell broke loose, literally, was Roman hitting him with punches and Braun not going down, and then Braun countering back with punches of his own. He set up a table. I believe it was Braun who set up a table in the at the corner of the ring, and he was trying to get Roman through it, but he couldn't for some reason. And Roman spears him to the table, which somehow knocks them both out. And did you see how that happened? I don't know how both of them get storyline, I guess. And then so we get then you hear the crowd getting hyped up because of course we all knew what was happening. We get Dolph and McIntyre coming down, asking the ref for the key for some reason. Like the ref just goes like, "Oh, here you go." And so, and then of course the other members of the Shield come out. They're battling out on the outside of the ring for like a good 10 minutes, I swear, maybe even 15. And so for some reason, Dolph decides to climb on top of the ring because, storyline. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard to explain things that goes on in wrestling, but they climb up on the top of the ring. Seth follows suit. Him and Dolph are battling on top of the ring, and then McIntyre gets up from off the floor from where he was, I believe, punched out by Dean, I believe. And so he goes on top. So they're 2-on-1 on top of the ring, which is very springy for a steel cage, might I add. I thought I was in one of those like trampoline playhouses. And then we get Dean coming up where he found a Kindle stick and went to town on Dolph and McIntyre. And then Dolph said he had enough with this. And then he started to climb back down the cage, which for the first time, I don't know why I never knew that there were footholds in the cage. And I'm guessing the red just made it more apparent. I don't know. But that kind of killed some of the allure of cage matches, because I used to be very impressed that people can climb cages because I cannot, but apparently they can't either. So we get Seth and Dolph battling on the side of the ring, and of course they fall off going through both announce tables that they cleared previously, and so then I think Drew and was Drew and Dean still on top, or did they make it down as well?
Yeah. No, they're still on top.
Okay, and then out of nowhere, the surprise of the night, Brock Lesnar returns. And again, Heyman asks the ref for the key, like he's going to give it to him. I don't know. I think he said he didn't have it, which was, I don't know why you don't have the key to the cage. So Brock, being Superman that he is, just burrows through it. That poor cage door. He had a family. Pour one out for him. And then he just goes on the attacking Roman and Braun and F5's. I think he F5 Roman onto Braun, and apparently that can result in no contest, which again doesn't make any sense because apparently we can kill Mick Foley and still get a match at the end of the match, but this one can end in a no contest. So no one knows if this means Braun gets to keep his briefcase, or if they're going to say, hey, you announced you cashed it in and you no longer have that opportunity. So we're all just kind of in the wait of knowing when what's going on, as usual, when it comes to Roman.
Yeah, a few things to note about that is Tom was talking about the panel size, so it's used to deflect and cause the springiness. But yeah, it was pretty. I haven't been surprised in a while in wrestling. The last time I was probably surprised is when The Rock came back unexpectedly. He wasn't supposed to come back when you heard the "if you smell," and I screamed. I'm like, yes! I couldn't believe it. I read, because sometimes I read those headlines and all that stuff on wrestling websites, and they're like, oh, this rumored return of Bobby Lashley, or rumored return of the Batista. So I'm like, so I'm never surprised. Even when I was, I mean, I don't not being there live, because at Royal Rumble I was surprised when Rey Mysterio came back. I was surprised. I mean, I knew Ronda Rousey was going to be there, but the way she came out was crazy too. So I was surprised at that. I think the last time I would have been shocked is the Hardys, but since I don't care about the Hardys at WrestleMania, for you that was probably a great moment when they came back, because
I watched it a month. Yes.
Yeah. So that was huge for you. So the last time I was actually really surprised was The Rock, when he surprised. I don't know which time it was, but when he came back and surprised the fans. But yeah, when that music hit, his music hit, because I expected him to be gone for the UFC. That's it. No more WWE. That's it. When that music hit, I picked up my phone. I texted Tom Zamino. I'm like, wake up. Brock is here. And then he actually woke up. He texted him in the chat. That was great. And then to make him look strong by kicking down the door, that was great too. And then F5. But why? Like you just said, to your point, why, when Mick Foley's gone through a table off the cage, that the match should end there? But, oh my God, he's killed him. No, he didn't kill him, because he's still fighting and they finished the match.
Oh, I forgot, in case someone was wondering why we didn't mention him. Oh, Mick Foley got taken out of the equation with Paul Heyman spraying him in the face with something. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That's why he wasn't there too. Yeah. And another ref came in and ruled a no contest, because we can do that. Okay, right. Sorry, go ahead.
Shane McMahon fell off the cage. Still finished the match. Why, when Brock Lesnar comes in and F5 both of them, no contest, and then no disqualification match, it's Hell in a Cell, anything can happen. Why? So that's what that was probably the most disappointing thing of the night, is that evening, the way that match ended. It was great to see Brock Lesnar come back, and that. But yeah, I was upset to see that happen. But it was a good match overall. I mean, it was, what do you expect? Two big guys just throwing each other and around, hitting with weapons. It was pretty cool. But the Seth and Dolph going to the table, that was expected. But the Brock Lesnar thing, that made my night. So yeah. So I don't think we're going to get any call-ins tonight. So we're going to go ahead and go to our overall report cards. We're going to go with our low point, our high point, and our overall grade. So we'll start with you, Delisha.
I think the low point, I think I'm just going to give it not to the whole Daniel Bryan match, but to Maurice not getting as much time as I wanted her to get. That's my low point. But then again, if she's not, ring ready, then I get it. But that's going to be my low point. High points, I think that I'm going to give it to Becky for finally getting the big one she deserved. I know she's won it before, but this one feels more special. Overall grade, I think I might just give it B-. Overall, I pretty enjoyed the pay-per-view except for some poorly executed spots, especially that ending. It did leave a sour taste in my mouth. That's gross, I know. But the pay-per-view was over. It was fine. I still don't think any pay-per-view has reached that Fastlane level of bad. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with B-.
Yeah, so for me, very similar. For the low point for me, actually, was the way the main event ended. The whole point of Hell in a Cell is there's no disqualification, nothing, no cat, whatever they say for the whole spiel they give for the whole Hell in a Cell thing. Why, when another person comes in and does all that stuff, they do no contest after Mick Foley was killed or whatever? Oh my God, he's destroyed or killed, whatever Jim Ross famously said that night. So that was a low point, the way that match ended. The high point also has to come for that match when Brock Lesnar came back, because I didn't expect that. If I had to go for the high point for the best match of the night, would be the tag team for the Raw Men's Championship, Drew and Dolph versus 2/3 of the Shield, Seth and Dean. But the high point when I actually popped myself was like saying, "Oh my God!" when Brock came back. So that was a high point. I would probably give the same overall grade, B-. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The only thing I took away from it was some botched spots for me, as well as the ending. That completely deflated the night, and I heard there was a lot of people ranting on Twitter about it, as well as fans posting their live video of how they're booing WWE for the way they ended it, stuff like that. But other than that, it was a strong evening. I thought it was very good. Aaron is asking, do you think it's time for Asuka to go heel? Maybe soon. Becky being a heel, I don't see that.
I was gonna say, if you've been seeing SmackDown lately, you can see that they're pairing her with Naomi probably to go after the Iconics at. Actually, no, I think they might be facing the Iconics at the Super Show. If not, then it's definitely going to be at Evolution. Because Asuka came and saved Naomi from a beatdown, and then they've been doing like some backstage sessions together. So they're probably going to pair them up, and maybe for the rumored women's tag team division to go from there. But nothing's confirmed about that, so we shall see. But I think they're going that route with Asuka right now.
Sky says that Brock sucks and they hate that he came back and stop turning Asians heel. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Delisha, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Delisha Renee. You can find us also on the upcoming OSP show, Odd Shape channel. Sorry. We are sister OSP and Chill, where we talk about pop culture news going on and any other ensuing fan questions that come up. And you can find me also working on a supplementary show coming up. We're still working out the kinks on that, so just stay tuned to the Twitters to figure out what me, Cal, and Tom are up to now.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about the show? What your ideas about it for the show are before we go?
Yeah.
Or do you want to leave that a secret?
We a lot of times, since we only get to do this maybe once or twice a month, sometimes that also spawns other side conversations of sometimes we go about superstars in the past or go into sideline conversations about what's going on with other wrestlers. So I was like, why don't we just have a separate podcast for that where we can either talk about past matches, maybe talk about some of the WWE personas, like do a highlight. Let's say, you know, we want to do something on The Rock. We can go into some of his matches and how he's surpassed the WWE stardom, things like that. So it's just more like a side conversation podcast where we're not necessarily recapping anything. We're just going over some matches. Maybe we'll do like our top 5 inner category here or stuff like that. So it's just more of a conversation piece where we can also talk to you guys there in the chat room, or not only in the chat room, but you guys can call in and we can talk about the topic that we will set out a preset topic that we'll hand out to you guys, and then have a good conversation as wrestling fans.
Yeah. Yeah, so the way the Bleach are discussing it, I think we're looking to start that show around Women's Evolution pay-per-view sometime that weekend. And Delicia's going to host it and ask you guys questions and stuff. So if you want to come on the show, just get in touch with us, one of us, either Delicia or myself, and she'll interview you, ask you some questions about like maybe, you know, what your favorite match was growing up, historical things, maybe a future fantasy match you'd ever want to see, or anytime, all-time fantasy match you'd want to see, and stuff like that. And you know, and like also highlight certain wrestlers, you know, like she said, The Rock or Stone Cold or anytime, Ric Flair, who just went through his 5th marriage, you know, stuff like that. It'd be fun to see. So if you want to get take part in that, let us know. Please let us know. Contact us. You know, just give your information. I'll give you mine.
Yeah, this all spawned from I went down an Eddie Guerrero wormhole, and it got me all types of emotional, and I needed to talk about it with somebody. So I was like, maybe we should do a podcast about it. I don't know. It's just I was like, I feel like wrestling fans. I mean, there's podcasts all over the place, guys. I know, but sometimes we're always just talking about what's going on now, and we do compare it to what happened in the past. Sometimes we don't get a chance to just talk. It's always reaction to what's going on in the now. So I don't know. I like having conversations about wrestling because I'm a nerd.
Yeah. All right, and so you know where you can find Alicia, you can find me here on the Kingslayer Network. I am the People's Champ Cow. You can also hit me up on Twitter at KingslayerNet. We'll be back next time. We're not going to cover the Super Show because I was talking to Alicia before this. I kind of made the executive decision that it's more like a show. Like we don't like all mixed matches and all that. Like no one actually has a set storyline that we can bring into it and stuff like that. Maybe we'll talk about it in passing, but the next time you'll see us is after Evolution. I'm really interested to talk about the first ever women's pay-per-view, all women's pay-per-view. So we'll be doing that. I think it's on a Sunday, October
21st,
maybe 21st. 21st. So you'll see us October 22nd then, 7:30 Eastern for talk about Evolution. I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I'm really proud of and happy to see where the women have gone, and it's gonna be interesting to talk about the favorite. I hope it lives up to the hype. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm excited.
All time, Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus are headlining it, so I'm so excited for that. So yeah, that's like one of those fantasy matches that Alicia can ask you about. All-time fantasy matches. I would love to see Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss, and I'm going to see it. So hey, but yeah. So as for me, you can find me on here on the Kingslayer Network as well as on Twitter at KingslayerNet. And like I said, we'll be back this October 21st. I'm going to the future already. October 22nd. Sorry for Evolution. So until next time, guys, slam all the haters and keep reaching for your goals like the champion you are. Later.
Peace out.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go.